Hi, everyone. I'm Jeremy Long, the Full Metal Traveler, and you're listening to the Unscaled Travel Show. In today's episode, we're continuing with our theme of dark tourism and, of course, tourist-heavy places with a darker history. Now, this can be anywhere. I mean, really, we're going to talk about all kinds of different places, and maybe you'll put them on your list. After all, dark tourism or haunted tourism, sometimes it's called, is extremely popular, and it's growing like a wildfire. It really is. As always, you can contact us at fullmetaltraveler.com for all of our past episodes and interviews. We appreciate you guys going on there. The website's growing. I'm so excited about it. My co-host and fellow traveler is my wife, Amy Long.
Hello.
All right. I know it's your favorite time of the year.
It is my favorite time of the year. I
It's
love the
mine,
fall.
too.
I love and I know it's strange, but I love Halloween. It's kind of that leading into the holiday spirit of things. You know, you start off kind of costumes and candy, and then a little bit of haunted stuff, and then you move into Thanksgiving, and then after that's Christmas and New Year. It kicks off just the best time of the year for me.
You know, you said you think it's a little strange, but I don't think it is. So many people live for that Labor Day, like Labor Day weekend is you kind of kick it off. If it were, I guess, more socially acceptable, I know people, Labor Day weekend, they would just start decorating right then. They would decorate their entire houses in Halloween garb and get up in spirits and stuff like that if they could. And I know some people would love to use it year round.
Yeah.
And you mentioned, and I'm going to say this right off the top of the show here, I apologize in advance. I mean, the weather this time of year, our allergies, I got that cough that I keep all year round because it's cold and it's hot and everything else. So if you hear us cough under our breaths or even we'll try to keep it to a minimum, but we apologize. So just let you know right now, right?
It's that time of year.
Oh, and we're both sucking down halls.
We're a little congested, a lot nasally. Sorry about that.
We sound wonderful. We look even better. Thank God we have a good radio show.
Thank God it's radio and not video.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's start with dark tourism. What it is exactly and why it's so popular, why we think it's so popular. Number one, dark tourism is this, it's been a growing trend. It's nothing new. People have done this for years and years and years. They follow, whether it's man-made things that we consider dark, places like Chernobyl, it's kind of a man-made disaster, or, things more, they call God-level events or something like that. Things like Pompeii.
Right.
That just natural disasters that have happened over the years. And then there's more, I guess, more dark. I consider dark, like murder houses.
Right. Yeah.
Lizzie Borden, things like this, where now it's this thing to kind of follow in the footsteps. People do it a lot in say, maybe New Orleans.
In New Orleans, yeah. I mean, the first time we went to New Orleans, we did what so many people do, and we went and we walked through one of the cemeteries. Mm-hmm. And I honestly don't know why we did it, other than it's something you do when you go to New Orleans.
It's something you think about. I mean, outside of Mardi Gras, what is New Orleans known for? Like voodoo and hoodoo, and it's darker and more spiritual and things of that nature. And I don't know, why do you think dark tourism or like this haunted tourism is so popular? I mean, one of our first guests weeks and weeks ago, at the very beginning of our show, was Robert Anthony from RJA Ghost Tours in San Antonio, and his business is booming. They've expanded to so many other cities that have these haunted places. Why do you think it's so popular?
I think people have a weird fascination with things they don't understand, whether it is spirits or serial killers or just a place that has had some tragic happening. As humans, there's something in us that we want to go. It's watching the car wreck or staring as you drive by. Like, it's just this strange fascination that we have for these things we don't understand. I mean, that's how I see it. I could be wrong. Maybe other people have other opinions, but it's something I think people are drawn to, and you can't even explain why you're drawn to it.
You can look at the popularity of streaming services like Netflix and how they have all of these documentaries on over the last year and a half, 2 years has been how many documentaries on these different serial killers. And that's why I brought up, you brought up serial killers, Ted Bundy and the fascination there.
Yeah.
Now, I know one aspect of people, they want to try to understand. You have the group of people that say, I could never understand how people murder other people or commit these crimes of passion and things like that, or whatever you want to call it. But, you know, it just remains in our psyche that we are just fascinated by, and like I said earlier in the show, this is nothing new. This dates back to almost to the Egyptian times. They had the Book of the Dead and these things that they thought, you know, humans have always linked death with like spirituality and the next level, or what we believe is the next plane of our existence.
Yeah.
And we've seen it from civilizations that never even knew each other, right? Egyptians and Incas to Aztecs to, you know, Native American tribes that roam North America and things, that these groups never met, but they all kind of thought the same thing, that we are somehow spiritually linked to the other side of whatever's out there through death.
I think every culture has some belief in a spiritual realm, plane, something, but nobody really knows. Nobody has been to the other side and come back and is like, look, this is what it looks like. I mean, people claim that. How do you really know if they've done it or not? But it is interesting that every single ancient culture has this belief. You can track it, that they, you know, whatever that belief is, that they do have a belief in some type of spirituality. And I think, again, it's something we don't really understand, and that's why we are drawn to it. And then the other part of the dark history tourism is places that have this like tragic thing that happened there, and it's almost like paying your respects to that location, to the people who may have died on that site.
Recently, we visited one of these places, Hiroshima. Now, this was a war conflict. This was a man-made thing, but it's still something that people are drawn to year after year. They have a peace festival. They have a flower festival.
Right.
But they still have all of these remnants of our war with Japan. And now, whatever side, now there's still a lot of feelings because there are still people around that lived that actuality and the fallout from that. But it's still a draw. People are still drawn to it, not only from the U.S., the people that were involved in the war, but also outsiders who may not have directly, maybe their countries weren't even directly involved in that war.
Well, I think when someone makes a conscious effort to turn a place like that into a monument, it is in hopes of drawing attention to it, attention to what happened, attention to the lives lost, so that those lives were not in vain. So I feel like it's done on purpose to make it sort of a tourist site, knowing that people will come. People will want to see the site that this destruction happened, but also to memorialize it. Yeah, that's a good way of putting it.
We went to, what do they call it? Peace Park?
Peace Memorial Park.
Peace Memorial Park. And there was still a children's.
Yeah.
They remember the children's monument.
Yeah.
That was still looked like it still had fresh art being delivered to it.
Yeah, actually, our daughter mentioned that a few years ago in school. Her class made some things that were sent to it, and you could see in all these different cases, just containers and containers of art that children from around the world have made and donated for this particular monument in Hiroshima.
Pretty powerful stuff. When we come back, we're going to talk more specific places about haunted and dark tourism. This is the Unscaled Travel Show. We'll be right back. Hi, everyone. Welcome back to Unscaled Travel Show. I'm Jeremy Long, the Full Metal Traveler. We are brought to you by Diamondback Land Surveying. For all of your land surveying needs, contact Diamondback Land Surveying at 702-823-DBLS. That's 702-823-3257. Or by visiting them online at diamondbacklandsurveying.com. Trent, Lisa Keenan, appreciate everything they do for us, for the community here in Las Vegas where we record. Thank you so much. We're talking about dark tourism and specifically haunted or dark locations. There are subtle differences sometimes between these dark places. We mentioned before the break, a place like Hiroshima that was made kind of during the time of war, man-made, obviously. You'd also group in there maybe the One World Trade Center, which Americans hold very dear. It's very personal to us. Pompeii was more of a natural disaster. A place like the Lizzie Borden house was where a double murder took place. And now it's a freaking bed and breakfast. I mean, it's kind of crazy. But the popularity and the rise of dark tourism, it's nothing new. It's been around for a very, very long time. People have always been fascinated with the other side. They've always been fascinated with murder and mayhem and kind of the underbelly of what humans are capable of. Just turn on Netflix, turn on Hulu, and you'll see all kinds of documentaries, true crime podcasts, all kinds of stuff out there that people listen to and consume on a daily basis. Why are we so drawn to it? Why are you drawn to it? Go to fullmetaltraveler.com, drop us an email. Why are you drawn to that supernatural, to that dark, to that haunted stuff out there? I'm very fascinated by it.
Yeah. I mean, think about it. People even were recently on a submarine to go to the site where the Titanic had sunk.
And then created a tragedy.
Created a tragedy themselves, but
sad.
also all for them to see a sunken ship that was sunk in a tragedy.
Yeah, I mean, what was that? 1912? It was early 1900s. I'm sorry, I don't know that. I saw the movie, but I mean, people are still. I mean, there you go. I mean, right there, 100 years later, people are still fascinated by the tale of the ship that couldn't be sunk, right? And recently, I mean, we mentioned we went to Hiroshima not too long ago, but we also visited the site of Pompeii. Not too long ago.
We were just there. It was.
Oops. Yeah.
We just went to Pompeii actually a few weeks ago, and it was kind of a impromptu trip, not an impromptu trip to Italy, but an impromptu trip to Pompeii. And honestly, I did it because I know my husband loves history, despite the fact he doesn't know what year the Titanic sunk. But I'm going to blame that on the cold medicine that he's on right now. But it was actually pretty fascinating to be there. It is an active archaeological site, so they are still currently digging artifacts, digging things out of the ground, and you can see them. There are areas that are roped off and people are working, and you can see the things they are pulling out of the ground and tagging, and there's a museum on site too.
It's fascinating.
It is.
It really
but
is.
You can roam in and out of all these ruins, and some of them it tells you this was this person's house, or this was a store, or this was a restaurant. They have theaters where they used to put on plays and have town halls. It was so interesting to see. But I think it's because it's so far removed from us. It's a way of life that we can't even imagine. And we go when we're walking around this, and it puts us in this unreal place, something that we've never experienced before.
Yeah, I mean, I think when we were there, it was surreal to kind of walk around in this place that is almost frozen in time. These exact moments where when tragedy happened. Now it happened in 79 AD or something similar to that. And yes, it was 1912 by the way. That's the Titanic sunk. But it's 79 AD, and over the course of 2 days, and we only really know about it through these letters from Pliny the Younger, and whose father or uncle Pliny the elder.
It's history lesson time on the Unskilled Travel Show.
He died rescuing people. And so anyway, it's this very fascinating thing because then people were frozen in time, buried under ash and soot and everything that they came across. I mean, I see recently in the last 150 years or so, they started, and these are where the plaster molds were made. They started finding the indentions in the ash.
That was the most upsetting part to me, was seeing those molds that were where somebody's body used to be.
Yeah.
And it was...
The biological part had degraded over time, which it does. But they started crudely filling them with plaster, I think in the 1800s. And this is where we get these haunting figures now, figures in motion, figures of mothers, holding to children that died because of the volcanic gases and things like that. So it's like
curled up in their sleep.
People that never even got to wake up.
Yeah.
It was in a place that's kind of outside of the walls we didn't get to visit, but they recently found, and this was in the last couple of years, they unearthed a stable where horses were, and horses were still tied up to the to different parts of the stable and everything. And so it's like this fascinating look at a town that after it was buried and after they did some rescue work, it was kind of largely forgotten about. People just moved on. There weren't any huge excavations, but it just, once it became uncovered again, it instantly became a tourist attraction again. And now it is one of the most popular places in Italy. Now, this is accounting for the Amalfi Coast, Rome itself and everything. It remains one of the most popular tourist destinations in Italy to this day, and it has been for at least the last 100 years.
Yeah.
Which is insanity.
We went in the middle of the week towards the end of the day.
Yeah.
And there were hundreds of people walking around. I was surprised. I honestly thought, it's going to be pretty bare. Maybe us and a couple of other people. No, it is actually a tourist attraction. There were tons of people there.
There were hundreds of people. I was so surprised by that. I guess I didn't really think about it.
And in my mind, I didn't think about the fact that the city of Pompeii has actually grown and is around this archaeological site.
The modern city
surrounds these ruins. And so you're standing in these ruins and you can see buildings beyond it. And you kind of wonder, like, do they think about this? Or is this one of those things they just don't even see it anymore?
And it's one of the most active volcanoes
in
the world.
When we were standing there looking at Mount Vesuvius, I just had that thought of, what if it chooses right now?
What if right now is the moment it wakes back up? Yes, I had that exact thought.
I think everybody does.
And you start planning those out. It's like, what am I going to do? It's not like that. Was that Tommy Lee Jones movie? Yeah, I'm going to be him when I grow up.
Volcano, yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to be Tommy Lee Jones in Volcano, he said, laughing to himself. Or was that terrible Pierce Brosnan one?
Oh, Dante's Peak.
There you go. Yep. Look at you.
I love those movies.
Disaster movies. My wife is a disaster movie fiend. When we come back, we're going to be visiting with the folks at the Welty House, another dark location in Gettysburg. Stay right here. It's the Unscaled Travel Show. Hi, everyone. Welcome back to the Unscaled Travel Show. It's Jeremy Long, the Full Metal Traveler. And, I thought, looking out across the landscape, who better to talk to than the folks over at U.S. Ghost Adventures. And, of course, one of the most famous haunted houses in the United States, the Welty House. And for the Welty House, we have Chayna Sellers, the general manager there. How are you today, Chayna?
I'm doing great. How are you doing?
Oh, I am doing wonderful. I've read up on the Welty House for years, and I haven't had the chance yet to get out to Gettysburg and check it out.
You gotta get out here.
I know, and I'm behind. I'm so behind. For those who may not know, can you give us a little bit of history about the Welty House?
Sure, yeah, absolutely. So the house itself was built in about 1838, and then in about 1854, Mr. Solomon Welty purchased it for his family. Uh, Unfortunately for them, about less than 10 years later, the Battle of Gettysburg would happen right in their front yard, basically. Um, Mr. Welty and his family, and also for one night, the Rupp family from across the street actually sheltered in the basement of the Welty House. Um, because of its location and everything like that, it was also used as a Confederate sharpshooter's nest, just because during the time of the battle, there wasn't really much here in between our house and then Cemetery Hill, where the Union troops were stationed. Um, there wasn't much there, so it was a perfect spot for them. We actually do have, some scars and pockmarks from the battle on our house. From Union retaliation.
Wow. Wow.
The,
Yeah. And for those who may not know, I mean, this year marks the, I think, 160th
yep,
anniversary
that's
of
right.
the Battle of Gettysburg there in, what is it, July 1863, I
Yep,
believe.
yep. July
Um,
1st through 3rd,
there you
1863.
go. One of the most gruesome, one of the most bloody battles of the
Absolutely.
Civil War. It kind of marked the last time the South had any kind of advantage in the Civil
Yeah.
War. That's far north, about around York, is where the farthest north they were to venture up and everything. Eventually getting pushed back, and I know for a time, for a short time, it was home to about 30 plus Union and Confederate graves.
Yeah, absolutely. So the property itself used to expand a lot larger than what it is now. There was said that at least 38 people were buried on the property,
Wow.
with one actually being recorded in Mr. Rupp's letter that he wrote to his sister after he sheltered in place with the Welty family, that said that they buried a Union soldier up on the board fence of Mr. Welty's property. So
Wow. What are some of the more famous ghost encounters that the properties had over the years?
yeah, we have a bunch, honestly. One of our more famous ones is one that actually happened in the Welty House. We get it in both properties both houses on the property. But in the Welty House, a woman was said to have been, staying the night. She was there by herself, and she awoke to this really loud noise outside of her room, and she wanted to go investigate. She's a braver woman than I am, because I would have hid. So she goes and she looks outside, and there's nothing going on outside. There's no, commotion or anything like that. And so she's like, must be an old house doing old house things, making old house noises, which is also what I tell myself. That was until she heard a voice behind her say, in like kind of a low, gruff, tone, "Keep your head down, miss." To which she whipped around, thinking that somebody had come into her room, maybe had an intruder in there, only to be met with an empty room and some lingering gunpowder scent in the air.
Wow. So maybe some leftover residual energy from Confederate sharpshooters.
That's what we're thinking. Yeah, we also have reports of people seeing a gentleman kind of lounging in our front windows, kind of looking down on the street, probably surveying, on watch. And then, you'll catch his eye and he'll give you a little nod and greeting and just go back to what he's doing.
My first question there is, why do people always want to investigate? Uh,
That's what I'm saying.
that is
That's
that
not my
is some white
business.
people stuff right there. It's like, oh, what was that noise? I'm gonna go check it out. No,
Yeah,
no,
no,
I hear somebody walking around in a house like that. I'm good.
yeah,
I'm
yeah,
good.
no, I didn't hear that.
I just figure it's either it's the house settling or
Mm-hmm.
it's a murderer or it's a ghost. But
Yeah,
two of those three things I don't want to deal with.
yeah,
Uh, have you?
absolutely, same.
How long have you worked with the Welty House?
So I actually am pretty fairly new here. I
Okay.
moved up here from Virginia in May, and I've just been here ever since.
Okay, for a few months now. Uh, have you had any paranormal experiences so far?
Oh, for sure. Um, so usually where I spend most of my days is in the Victorian house. That house was not, standing during the battle. So the property was in the Welty family for a long time until Mr. Solomon's Mr. Welty's wife passed away, where it was sold to Miss Toote. Then she built the house that is known as the Victorian House in 1898 for her son Charles. And a lot of us have had some interactions with Charles, or at least we think we're having interactions with Charles. He likes to call out people's names, or you'll hear him, walking around. He's been seen, in his little pleated pants and shiny dress shoes in our Ohio room by one of my colleagues. But mostly what I'm experiencing from him is he likes to open doors and rattle doors, do stuff. Like I just hear him walking around most of the time.
He's a gentleman. He's just opening doors for people.
He's just opening doors. He's just, doing old man stuff. Walking around.
Yeah, you just shuffle around the house and open doors and stuff. And then you forget why you're there. And you go, I know, I do it all the time. Now, so for people who may not know, the Welty House is, of course, the property that was around, built in the 1830s. And now there's the home you were just mentioning, the Victorian House, that was built later, and it's a separate home. And now that home is actually the Brick House Inn, where you can rent the rooms, like one of the beautiful rooms you're standing in right now.
Yes, exactly.
Check it all out. This year, you guys won the very prestigious award, the TripAdvisor Traveler's Choice Award. Not easy to come by. That means you guys are in the upper echelon of recommended places through TripAdvisor, which is really huge. How has that award, what has it meant to the property, and how have you guys kind of embraced that?
It's meant everything. I can't be more proud of our team here and the hard work and love that they've shown this property. It obviously is showing in our guests' experience as well. So I think it's been great. Like, really, all I can say is just how proud I am of them. I don't know. It's wonderful.
It's incredible. Yeah.
Yeah, we've gotten a good. I can't even think of the word I want to say. We've been received well.
I got it. For first-time visitors, for people that have never been to Gettysburg and don't know, kind of walk us through. What should they do first? Where should they go? What should they see? What should they kind of poke around and open doors and shut doors to?
Sure. I mean, you should, of course, stay at the Brick House Inn and Welty House.
Of course.
And then, go to the visitor center or book a battlefield tour through us, or book some of our tours that we have. Go visit all of the local shops. We're right in the heart of, Gettysburg, right within walking distance to a lot of great local businesses, restaurants, all that fun stuff. And everything has that history behind it too. But I've also noticed, Gettysburg is also a little spooky place if that's what you're into, and we have plenty of spooky things to do.
Chayna Sellers, general manager there at the Welty House and Brick House Inn. Thank you so much for your time. I appreciate it. And if people want to follow along, if they want to find you guys online, book a room, how can they get a hold of you?
Yeah, if you want to book a room, you can find us at brickhouseinns.com. We also have a couple different social media pages. Facebook, just Brick House Inn. If you're looking more so towards our, ghosty side of things, you can visit us at usghostadventures.com or viewjunket.com for more history and daytime focused tours.
There you go. Folks, stick around. When we come back, we're going to have more on the Unscaled Travel Show. Jeremy Long. We'll be right back. Hi, everyone. Welcome back to the Unscaled Travel Show. I'm Jeremy Long, the Full Metal Traveler. As always, check us out. FullMetalTraveler.com for all of our past episodes and guest interviews. And as always, we're brought to you by Diamondback Land Surveying. For all of your land surveying needs, contact Diamondback Land Surveying at 702-823-DBLS. That's 702-823-3257, or by visiting them online at diamondbacklandsurveying.com. We're talking about dark tourism. We want to thank our friends at the Welty House in Gettysburg for dropping some knowledge on us. Not only haunted, giving you reasons why you should stop by there and definitely check out and go on the ghost tours that the entire city has to offer. One of the bloodiest battles of our Civil War here, but also why you should just go and check them out. They're lovely bed and breakfasts. What is our fascination with turning these houses into bed and breakfasts? That's, I guess, a different conversation, but kind of not. It's kind of in the same vein.
Yeah.
We are in the next couple of episodes, over the next couple of weeks, we are going to bring a little bit of information and some interviews from places like Salem, Massachusetts, the home of the witch trials.
I'm very excited.
And of course, we mentioned it several times, the Lizzie Borden house itself, the double murder house. Did she do it? Did she not do it? Who cares at this point? It happened. And is the place haunted? I don't know. We're going to get firsthand information. It's going to be really fun as we lead up our spooky month into Halloween, just days before.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm really excited about that, and you should be too. So now let's kind of let's shift our focus a little bit. I mean, we mentioned some places in general. Now what are some of those places that we've gone to that you've really liked? I mean, we've mentioned New Orleans, walking through the cemeteries, doing things like that. And recently we've been to places like the Queen Mary in Long Beach, California, that has a little bit of a haunted, or supposedly haunted feel. But, I'm asking you, Amy, what are some of these places that either really stand out to you, places that we have been to, or places that you want to go to?
Oh, well.
There's so many. I know.
There's so many.
We talk about it all the time. Yeah.
There is a hotel in San Francisco, the Westin St. Francis. I cannot find anything, or I mean, I haven't dug too much, but I stayed there a few years ago, and I promise you that place is haunted. I promise you. You walk in, you get to your room, and it's like, yes, their ghosts live here. There is probably one in that corner watching me. I was positive.
Which is unnerving.
It is very unnerving. Do you remember we were in Shreveport, Louisiana, and we were in some community building, switching gears, but we had to walk down a hall, and we both stopped and we're like, this place is haunted too.
Yes. I mean, you could look at the entirety of Shreveport, Louisiana and say that town is just, was it the convention center?
I think so.
Their old like convention center or theater or whatever. Not their convention, whatever it was.
Their old city hall or something.
Yeah. But yes, I know they still use it, the auditorium.
Yes.
Municipal auditorium.
That's what it is.
Wow.
Yes.
Yes, that place is definitely haunted. I mean, you stand there and you're like, ooh.
You feel something.
You feel just eerie being in that building. I forgot about that one. Yeah.
Yeah.
That was a ton of fun. And then there's other places we haven't been to yet. What's the one outside of Mexico City? The real famous one.
The Island of the Dolls?
Yeah. I don't know if that's haunted, but it's creepy.
It is creepy. Well, and that's kind of the thing is like, when it comes to these places with this history of death or tragedy, I think the creepy and the possibly haunted all kind of go together. I mean, even we, speaking of Gettysburg, the Alamo, I don't know if it's haunted, but there is just kind of this chilling reverence when you're there because so many people died in that one spot and needlessly.
And I've stayed across the street at the Minger. If you've never been to San Antonio, right next to the Alamo. Now, the Alamo sits squarely in the middle of the city, right at the city center. Right across the street from it is a hotel called the Minger, Menger. Now, this is where Teddy Roosevelt famously roused his first, or at least a round of the Rough Riders, the famous Rough Riders who fought the Spanish-American War, and things like that. And he was often, but it's got a dark history. And a couple of blocks away is one called the Emily Morgan, which also has a dark history. Murders have happened there, suicides, famous things have kind of happened along those lines. Which, I really like that. The Minger, I mean, it's one of those hotels you look down the hallway and you're like, that's The Shining. That's the one in Colorado.
What is that one called? Estes? No, I don't remember. I know which one you're talking about.
I had some friends that just stayed there. They stayed at that hotel. The one.
The Stanley.
Whatever. So that hotel is one that attracts people from
Right.
all around. Other places are kind of like the Tower of London, which has been around since 1066, has a dark history. The princes that were walled up, and because they
Right.
were the heirs to the throne and all this other,
And they were killed. That's so sad.
like Henry VI was murdered there,
Yeah.
and as a history of like often housing some of the more vile
Yeah.
people before modern prison times came along.
Yeah. I mean, there's a castle in Ireland that claims to be the most haunted castle in the world. A lot of lives were lost there during a battle between several clans that were warring. I think it would just be interesting to see it. Again, that creepy fascination of the history side of it and just knowing all the stuff happened there. But if we're looking a little closer to home, somewhere we've talked about a lot and we've tried to go to a few times is Alcatraz. Every time we try to go there, tickets are sold out. So it is obviously a popular destination.
Yeah. I mean, and it's, it changes gears. It's more of a place that, for a limited number of years, housed some of the most dangerous criminals in the United States. But it's not necessarily, and there are reported haunted sightings and things like that. But it's more of like, I think, a fascination.
Yeah.
It was this period of time where it was like, no one could get out of this place. And then maybe some people did get out and they still don't confirm a whole lot of things. I often equate it to around here in Nevada, we have a lot of mining towns or former mining towns that are now considered ghost towns. And where some of these towns became ghost towns because of mine tragedies, where mines collapsed and they'll have signs at the front of these mines that still exist, these mine shafts, that'll say like 30 men perished here or whatever. And it is this kind of morbid, dark, kind of surreal, like this was an act. It's not a reported haunting. It's an actual tragedy where people lost their lives, which makes you kind of give pause a little bit to like the real history of.
And I mean, I think you mentioned on a previous episode how we went to Tombstone a few years ago, and we went and saw a reenactment of the shootout at the OK Corral. And it was a little bit kitschy, but at the same time, it's on the very ground where the shootout actually happened. So you kind of walk away thinking about what really, and they have, it's a museum and it's kind of a live theater there, but there were all the different statues and poses where people were, bodies were found, things like that. So it does make you think about what actually happened on that very spot.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's really fascinating. I believe in our last episode, we talked to the host of the TV show, The Dead Files, Cindy Kaza. We kind of got her insight about haunted places, the different energies they put off. She gave her take about why people are fascinated with it, our draw to it. But, no matter what you think, and some people are very anti. If you grew up, you and I both grew up in religious households. And sometimes people are anti that because they think one way or another. For whatever reason, throughout our history, this is nothing new. Dark tourism, haunted tourism remains a fascinating pull on our psyche. I don't know what it is. We still talk about it all the time, but whatever we decide and whatever you decide, if you like haunted houses, if you like Halloween, put some of these places on your list, both internationally and domestically. There's some of them are very easy to get to. And you might even have a few in your area, no matter where you live, that it's right up the street or something like that we haven't mentioned. Go to our website, fullmetaltraveler.com. Let us know. We'd love to come check it out, right?
Yeah, we're going to check out a few places next week, and we'll be talking about them on our upcoming episodes.
Yep, Lizzie Borden House in Salem, Massachusetts. We'll be there. We'll be having fun, talking to some, talking to some witches, talking to people who don't necessarily believe in it. We'll try to get every side we can.
Yeah.
But one thing we will cover is that it's going to be a great place to travel to for everyone here. I'm Jeremy Long, the Full Metal Traveler, the Unscaled Travel Show. We'll see you next time.